Hi, I'm Vijay Kansuba, and I'm an IELTS and TOEFL instructor. I've been dealing with this for the past 2 decades. Well, there are lots of students who've been talking about they would like to know the difference between IELTS and TOEFL, and that's exactly what I would like to discuss today. Well, first up, let's start with some similarities. Both are language-based tests. These are both language proficiency tests. Both IELTS and TOEFL will test listening, reading, writing, and speaking skills. Now, talking about the differences, first up, let's talk about the listening part. In the listening, in the IELTS, first, you have a question, you get some time to read the question, and then, as you listen, while the listening is in progress, you have to write the answer. All the questions are of different types. There are a variety of questions. Now, talking about the TOEFL listening. In the TOEFL listening, first you listen to a lecture or a conversation, and you take notes. And then, and then consulting your notes, of course, you can always answer your questions. There are 5 questions after every conversation, 6 questions after every lecture. Now let's move on to the reading part. In the IELTS reading comprehension, there are exactly 3 passages, 40 questions, and then of course the variety of questions. When I say variety of questions, I would say there are precisely 11 questions. Now here in the TOEFL reading comprehension, it's a variable test. You have between 3 to 4 passages. So like the TOEFL reading comprehension, which is a variable test, even the TOEFL listening that I just mentioned a while ago, that's also a variable test. However, in both TOEFL listening and in reading comprehension, you have multiple choice questions. So there are 10 different questions in the reading comprehension, but they're all multiple choice. Now, moving on to the writing part, in the IELTS and the TOEFL writing, something common is essay writing. In both cases, you write an essay, which is called an independent task in the TOEFL. Besides it, in the IELTS, we've got task 1, that's report writing, and in the TOEFL, it's called integrated task. Well, in the IELTS report writing, you have visual information in the form of graphs, tables, pie charts. You read this information, analyze it, write a short report based on it. Unlike that, in the TOEFL writing, you have to read, you listen, and then based on what you've read and what you've listened, you combine information. And the TOEFL, this task is called integrated task. And then finally, we have the speaking. In the IELTS, the speaking test is taken some other time. So in the IELTS, you take the reading, writing, and listening. The speaking is some other time. In the TOEFL, you take the speaking all in one go. Now in the IELTS, it's a one-on-one interview between 11 to 14 minutes. In the TOEFL, unlike the IELTS, it's a computer-based speaking, and there are only 4 tasks, and there is no human interaction involved in it. To wrap up the whole thing again, the TOEFL is entirely computer-based, whereas in the IELTS you have a choice of taking the paper-based test, or you could also take the computer-delivered test. In the IELTS, you've got a variety of questions in reading and listening. In TOEFL, reading and listening, these are multiple choice questions. Well, finally, these are some of the fundamental differences. I'm not going into the nitty-gritty. However, if you feel you still need some guidance, well, we are always here to help you out. So take care and best of luck.